In the rarefied air of El Alto, Bolivia, history was written this Thursday. At almost 4,100 meters of altitude, Bolivia beat Brazil 1-0 in the final match of the South American qualifiers for the 2026 World Cup. A result that went beyond a simple surprise in football terms. Playing at the Villa Ingenio Stadium is, in itself, a challenge of gigantic proportions. Every step, every run, and every dispute for the ball becomes a test of resistance in this thin air where oxygen is scarce and the heartbeat is accelerated. For Bolivia, this factor is an ally. For Brazil, it was an almost insurmountable obstacle. And within this scenario, Miguel Terceros' name shone brightly, making history in Bolivian football. His name will be forever etched in the memory of Bolivian football fans. The young forward converted the penalty that secured the victory and, consequently, the team's qualification for the intercontinental playoff. The match was far from easy. Bolivia knew how to take advantage of their home conditions, suffocating Brazil in the first half. Despite the Selecão's attempts to control the game, they struggled to find space in the tightly marked Bolivian area. In contrast, Bolivia, inspired by the roaring crowd, pressed relentlessly, looking to strike on the counterattack. The goal that made the difference came in first-half stoppage time. Roberto Fernandez entered the area and was knocked down by Bruno Guimarães. Although the initial protests were raised by the Brazilians, the referee, after consulting the VAR, pointed to the penalty spot. The responsibility of converting the maximum penalty fell on Miguel Terceros, who sent Alisson, one of the best goalkeepers in the world, the wrong way. With a cool finish, the young striker netted the ball into the back of the net, unleashing delirium among the Bolivian fans. For Brazil, it was a hard pill to swallow, conceding a late goal due to a defensive mistake. The second half began with Brazil more aggressive, seeking to overturn the score. Coach Carlo Ancelotti made changes, putting in players with more offensive punch. However, the altitude seemed to be taking its toll on the Brazilians. Fatigue and lack of oxygen made it difficult for them to maintain the intensity and fluidity in their plays. Bolivia, on the other hand, defended well, closing ranks and relying on quick counterattacks to catch the Brazilian defense off guard. As the minutes passed, the pressure mounted on the Brazilian side. Now, needing 2 goals to draw level, the Seleção pushed forward, leaving more spaces open at the back. Bolivia nearly took advantage of this in a swift counterattack, but Miguel Terceros' shot went just wide of the post. In the final minutes, Brazil threw everything they had into the attack, but Bolivia's defense stood firm. The referee blew the whistle, signaling the end of the match, and the Bolivians invaded the field in celebration, euphoric with the victory that sealed their spot in the intercontinental playoffs. The victory is a giant leap for Bolivia, who are returning to the international stage after a 29-year absence. In 1994, they also qualified directly for the World Cup, but missed out on the following editions. The path to the World Cup in Qatar in 2022 was through the playoffs, but they lost to Peru. Now they have a new chance and will face the 5th-placed team from the African zone in an away match in June. If they win, they'll secure a place in the World Cup. For Brazil, this defeat won't have major repercussions. They had already secured first place in the group with 48 points, guaranteeing their direct qualification for the World Cup. Coach Carlo Ancelotti used the match as an opportunity to rest some key players and give opportunities to those who haven't had many chances to play. Brazil will debut in the World Cup on December against Serbia, and Coach Ancelotti must find the right balance between rotations and maintaining the team's competitiveness. In conclusion, the Bolivian people are celebrating a historic victory. The team defied the odds and achieved an extraordinary result against the 5-time world champions. Miguel Terceros, his name echoed across the country and will remain in the golden pages of Bolivian football history. The path to the World Cup continues, and Bolivia's journey is far from over. They now have a chance to qualify directly and will fight for this opportunity with the same tenacity and determination that earned them the admiration of their people and the respect of their rivals. As for Brazil, the defeat served as a wake-up call. The team's focus must be absolute and unwavering, regardless of the opponent and competition format. Soccer demands total dedication and respect for the rival, regardless of the result. Now, it's time for recovery and adjustments. Brazil has the potential to go far in the World Cup. But to do so, they must learn from their mistakes and maintain their concentration. The World Cup is approaching, and every detail counts. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any updates. Your support is essential for me to keep bringing you quality content about the world of soccer. Until next time.